Hi, this is Jim Bond with the 7th episode of my talks on our 30 years of surviving multiple myeloma. Today's episode is on autologous stem cell transplants, or autos as they're known. I've had two. My first one was in 1992 after conventional chemotherapy at the time. It got me into complete remission, and my doctor advised that I could do a stem cell transplant, an auto, if we wanted to. And we had to weigh the pros and cons of being hospitalized for a number of weeks to do the transplant. They were fairly new in our hospital at that time. Or not do them and see how long the remission would last on its own. Our research led my caregiver wife Kathleen and I to decide, with the help of my doctor, that it was a good investment to take the time in the hospital. It may produce a longer remission. So when I entered the hospital, I agreed to enter a clinical trial as part of the transplant. And what that meant is I would get 3 days of full body radiation in addition to the other heavy duty preparation chemotherapies to get me ready for the stem cells to come back. Now, I have to admit, there were some days in the hospital where it was very uncomfortable. And discomfort is the word I would use to describe the worst days. Nothing really, no one thing really hurt. It's just that I couldn't get comfortable, and it was something the hospital recognized, and they had ways to give me the right drugs to do that, although they were, heavy duty drugs. But a couple of things in the hospital surprised me. I was really touched by the kindness of my family and friends who came in to donate platelets that I would need when they reduced my immune system. And a couple of my friends and a relative did the donating of their blood platelets, even though they had a real fear of blood. I also had to learn something about trusting science. I realized that my stem cells that they had previously harvested and were getting ready to re-inject back into my body. Those were really represented my life. They had to regrow my bone marrow, which had been eliminated on purpose. And it really did cause some serious days of doubting, should I have done this or not? But it worked out, and I got over 5 year remission. And I'm glad we made that decision. Now, when the cancer came back, which we knew it would, I wanted to do a second auto transplant, and my doctor was resisting me. He explained that the full body radiation I'd had as part of the clinical trial for the first one made him very doubtful that I could harvest enough stem cells to do a second auto. But we're able to overcome his resistance, and that's the subject of another episode, and more is in my book. And the profits from that book go to cancer charities. You can find that book by searching my name, Bond, and the word myeloma and book. Now, the next episode will be on two other transplants I had that are the other type of transplants called autologous, or called allogenic, or allos, as we more easily refer to them. So I look forward to talking to you in the next episode. Thank you.